All right, we talked about it earlier. Four first alert weather days. What's up with that?
We issued those when there's going to be impactful weather. Initially, it's from precipitation, snow, and icy mix, a chilly rain that could actually enhance flooding concerns by Sunday with snow melt. But beyond the weekend, it's not for precip, but for cold and wind. That wind's going to make it feel even colder. So as we talked about earlier, the cold weather protocols in effect for early next week. So first and foremost, tomorrow, by this time, flakes will be flying across Connecticut. And by midnight, we could measure 4 to 6 inches inland, 2 to 4 inches along the shoreline. But on the topic of measuring, it's going to be very challenging to do so because we're going to see a transition from snow to an icy mix and then eventually some rain tomorrow night into early Sunday morning. And by Sunday afternoon, by the time the storm is wrapping up, we could see prolonged periods of freezing rain, leading to an accretion of ice across the hills of northwest and northeast Connecticut in the order of, say, 1/10 to perhaps 1/4 of an inch. So if we're on the higher end of that, and this, of course, freezing rain clings to trees, makes for very slick conditions underfoot, under tire. Also, the weight on those power lines and trees and branches could certainly take them down. So there could be some isolated power outage concerns across the northwest and northeast corners of our state throughout the day on Sunday. Meanwhile, that first alert weather day for Monday and Tuesday for the cold and windy weather that we're expecting is wind chill values both mornings. Monday and Tuesday could go near, if not below, 0. And we are watching Thursday of next week for a potential snowstorm. So a lot to iron out between now and then. Meanwhile, we're 29 looking live from Waterbury, a mainly clear sky. A lot of vehicular traffic, not much in the way of pedestrian traffic crossing the Bascule Bridge this evening. It is certainly on the chilly side, temperatures in the 30s, feeling more like the 20s, if not teens, when you factor in the wind. And that northwesterly wind helped to transport some snow showers here into southern New England earlier today. Those have since dried up. But you can see off to our west, the last couple of frames of this animation, cloud cover beginning to overspread the state. So the clouds tonight will be lowering and thickening. If you are heading out and about, perhaps to celebrate Valentine's Day, when you factor in the wind chill values, what it feels like, teens and 20s as the evening progresses. Now tomorrow, perhaps some limited sunshine, otherwise overcast, dry through the first half of our Saturday. Visibility will be dropping tomorrow afternoon, even more so after sunset as the snow begins to fall and then ramp up in coverage and in intensity. So here's first alert futurecast, noon and points thereafter. Light snow through 5 o'clock. Here's at 8, 9 o'clock tomorrow night. Some deeper shades of blue indicating that more moderate snow coming down. And by 11 o'clock tomorrow night, when you tune in to see Scott Gagliardi, he'll be tracking this mix line working farther north. So initially, we're talking about temperatures cold enough tomorrow evening to support snow, but eventually, especially as milder air works in aloft, as temperatures at the surface are still near freezing, sleet and freezing rain a possibility before transition all over to rain. So looking for rain throughout southern Connecticut shortly after midnight, but want to draw your attention to those shades of pink indicating that perhaps prolonged period of sleet and freezing rain into the morning hours of Sunday, continuing even into Sunday afternoon. There could be a bit of a lull before things kick back in by Sunday evening. That's when we could see some more moderate rain. So for Sunday, temperatures by the afternoon inland warming above freezing into the mid-30s, will likely reach or exceed 40 along the 95 corridor. Then behind this system for the weekend, there's the combined cold and wind chill values going near 0 early Monday morning, early Tuesday morning, close to it again on Wednesday, and then watching very closely Thursday of next week on the possibility of some snow. Shoreline highs 33 tomorrow, 42 on Sunday, then trending in the downward direction thereafter.